TIFU by mistakenly sharing a firing list with people about to get fired. This just happened, and I'm worried I'm gonna get fired for cause. So, I'm a pretty senior exec at a software company. I'm also part of some Slack channels where lots of friendly banter takes place. It's especially important in this WFH climate to keep the camaraderie up. The Slack channel is full of memes, showing off, stupid water cooler type conversations. Nothing material or relevant to work. It is also full of cheeky engineer types. Anyway, we were talking about camping gear and such, and I have a rather nice machete that I'm proud of. So I snap a picture to share with the crew amidst the chat of talking when we can get back to camping. So I took a snapshot with my cell of the machete and posted it to the channel. My foo. I had my laptop in the background of the shot. And on my screen, just barely visible when you zoom, is a list of people we have to let go of the next day. Some of those people were on the channel. No reaction to my pic, which is unusual as there is usually a lot of ribbing and banter and jokes. I was expecting people to make fun of my tiny penis, since it's a large machete. Not a single joke or reaction. My spidey senses tingle, and I zoom into the pic and see the list names right there in the background. My balls just shrivel up and retract all the way to my throat at this point, realizing what I've done. About 20 to 30 seconds have passed by now. I have the presence of mind to delete the pic and just pretend nothing happened. An hour later, the entire company is blowing up with people sharing the list around. CEO just emailed he wants to chat in a bit. I see head of ours invited to that meeting as well. Fuck. Was a good gig. Gonna be a shitty story when I'm in interviews asking me why I got fired. TL. Doctor shared a list of people getting fired before they are getting fired on company Slack. Mayhem unfolding now and will very likely get fired. TIFU by assuming my friend has a little brother. Didn't happen today, but a few months ago. Me and my girlfriend, who is also my coworker, have a friend from work who we've known for only a few months. Let's call him Zed. One night Zed got a call from his mom asking what time he would be home from work because he needed to help put his brother to bed. My thought process, oh cool, Zed has a little brother. I have a lot of little nieces and nephews, and I know how annoying it can be to put them to bed, so it's nice that he helps his mom out with that. Fast forward to me, my girlfriend, and Zed on FaceTime together one night while we play video games together. Zed has to go because he needs to help put his brother to bed again. I'm thinking, damn, this kid must be a terror. Let's make a joke about it. So I say something like, Zed, what's wrong with that kid? Just tell him to go to sleep. I wanna play another round. Cue silence, and then Zed is like, nah, I really gotta go, and he disconnects. My girlfriend was in the bathroom, so she didn't hear this exchange, which will become relevant. Fast forward a few more days, me and my girlfriend are talking about Zed's family, since she just had recently gone to his house and actually met them and had hung out with his brother a bit, so I figured I would ask more about his brother out of curiosity. Me, how old is his brother? GF, he's 21. Me, wait, Zed's brother is 21. That doesn't make any sense. I thought his brother was younger. GF, Zed's 24, so he is younger. Me, no, I thought he was like 5 or something. Why the hell is Zed always helping put him to bed then? GF, he's paralyzed from the neck down, so Zed has to help his mom lift him into his bed every night. I'm absolutely mortified that I basically told Zed to tell his handicapped brother to fuck off, and I feel like a complete asshole for never asking enough about him to know this. Zed hasn't mentioned it to me, but I'm sure him and my girlfriend probably had a good laugh about it by now. It's one of those moments I'll cringe about when I close my eyes every night forever. TL. Doctor thought my new friend's brother was a bratty toddler. Turns out he's a very nice young quadriplegic man who just needs 2 people to help get him into his bed every night. Edit/update. I will take y'all's suggestion and bring it up to him and apologize. Thanks for the advice. TIFU by insinuating I euthanize people. I work in an ICU as a nurse, and one of the hard parts of my job is withdrawing life support on patients, which consists of turning off machines and letting a patient die naturally. A few weeks ago, it somehow came up in conversation with my parents that their dog's health is kind of going downhill and they were worried he was nearing the end of his life. I offered to be the one to take him to the vet if it ever came to putting him down, because both my parents talked about how hard it was with their last dog and it was very upsetting for them, but they didn't want him to be alone. I deal with end of life situations on a semi-regular basis, so it was kind of a no-brainer to be able to offer to help make that hard transition a little less sucky for them. Well, today was that day, and it was long and emotionally draining as I helped my mom navigate the options. He was such a good boy, but his quality of life would have been terrible moving forward, so it was the best thing for him. He was spoiled the rest of the day with ice cream and burgers from the fancier drive-thru because my mom wanted him to have the best. So, as the vet was setting everything up, I just watched to see what she brought in with her. She paused and asked me, "Have you ever done this before?" to see whether or not she needed to explain everything. I hate telling people that I'm a nurse for several reasons, so I'm usually pretty vague with answers to questions related to medical stuff because I don't want it to come up. In this case I should have just said no and left it at that, but I didn't. Instead, I just said no, not with an animal. It took me a couple hours to realize why she gave me a weird side eye for a second. Withdrawing life support and euthanasia are not the same thing, and I basically just implied I've experienced human euthanasia. In the midst of an otherwise shitty day, I had to laugh at myself for that lapse in judgment, and I can't help but wonder what that poor vet was thinking. TL. Doctor took my parents' dog to the vet to be put down. When asked if I've ever done this before, I told the vet not with animals, implying that I have experienced human euthanasia. TIFU by convincing a girl I was a stalker. This happened back when I was in high school. I'm turning 22 this year and it's a memory I cringe at every time I think about it, so I decided to post it here for everyone's enjoyment. Flashback to somewhere between sophomore and junior year of high school, when I meet this girl at my church's youth group that I think is adorable and way out of my league. We're at an all-nighter lock-in, and I use it as an opportunity to get to know her better. Sometime during the night, she skins Ernie on the carpet playing some game that I can't remember. Fast forward about a day, and I message her on Facebook asking how Ernie is doing. She says it's doing well, and it was very sweet of me to check in on her. She even gives me her phone number, which was huge, because I had never gotten the girl's phone number before, and hadn't dated anyone in my life yet. Still haven't. F's in the chat. If there was any opportunity for me to date someone, this was going to be it. Turns out, I'm awful at texting and small talk, so we just kind of stopped texting because I have nothing interesting to say. Fast forward just a little more, and my best friend mentions that a mutual friend of ours saw her working at a coffee shop that was literally a 5 to 10 minute walk away. We decided to go get some coffee and say hi, as I was still kind of into her. We were on the phone with my older brother at the time, and, being the super hilarious older brother prankster that he is, he hears about our plans and decides to call the coffee shop and ask for this girl directly, after asking me to hold on. I wait for him to get back on the line, but moments pass before I hear hello on the line in a feminine voice. I'm super confused at this point, and she's asking if my brother is still there, and I say no, this is Op. Who is this? She then says she's the girl I like and asks for my last name. I begin to panic and freak out because this is really weird. I opt to just hang up and go to the shop in person to sort things out. Big mistake. I get there and almost immediately she starts saying that she thought I was a stalker, like 5 times in a row, and I just had to awkwardly explain that a friend of a friend saw her here and we decided to stop by. She thought this was weird, and to make matters worse, her older sister worked at the same coffee shop. This obviously wasn't a good first impression on the sister, and she very sternly kept telling me I should have given my full name, as they were worried I was some creep that was going to possibly hurt this girl. So, then my best friend and I ordered a coffee, sat down for possibly the most awkward coffee I've had in my life, and I never talked to her again. At least that's how I wish the story ended. Fast forward one last time after a few unresponded to messages of me trying to explain myself. I was, at that time, a poolie in the United States Marine Corps, and our recruiting office was in the middle of a very busy plaza. I was there about once a week for physical training, PT, and one of those weeks I saw her. She was going into one of our city's athletic clubs for women. Me being the absolute genius I was in high school, I messaged the girl who was very suspicious of me stalking her that I thought I saw her in said plaza. It was very innocent, and I thought it would be a great icebreaker and she say oh yeah, I go to that gym, and I'd be like oh, cool. I PT in that plaza, and we'd hit it off from there. Nope. She instantly blocked my number and all of my social media accounts and I haven't talked to her to this day. I cringe at the thought of this girl telling the story of the guy that stalked her to her friends to this day. It was, in actuality, a huge misunderstanding. I'm pretty sure she's married and has a kid now, so I've just let it go and let this girl live her life. Lol. TL. Doctor, friend of a friend sees girl I like where she works. I go to said work after an awkward phone call prank from my older brother, and she thinks I'm a dangerous stalker. I then proceed to do even more stalkery things without realizing it, and I get blocked. Oof. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and share how you fricked up in the comments.